Hello folks, this is a camera mounted on a tripod for once. The sun is to my right and my left in my house, so light's awkward. I've got my bedroom light on. As you can see, we've got a slightly shiny reflective laptop. As the brand shows, HP. I'm using my Vigilant camera. No, Sanya Vigilant. That was the computer I used it on. And this is a disassembly video. Haven't done one for a little while. Just looking for the replacement part, which is the fan unit. There probably won't be any. I'm still getting used to this camera. Well, actually, this is the first time I've fully used it since the video I did last. So I won't be controlling any macro mode, it'll just automatically focus and do its thing. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done PC videos as such. I haven't really had any. I've got myself an Xbox, well, two actually, that have been rescued from a skip. One is a complete no-go, no point in trying to fix. It's had the X-clamp removed and drilled out and stuff. The other one's not been touched, but it didn't have a hard drive and it had a broken optical drive. Sorry, no, the first one didn't have a hard drive. The second one had a hard drive but a broken optical drive. Someone's disc obviously must have got stuck in it. And apologies for the traffic. I live in a pretty busy commutable area. Anyway, the Xbox, yep. So didn't have a hard drive, but the second one came with it, but the first one had a good drive, so I switched all that over. I might do a video on them anyway and just say what I'm going to do. Right. Now, I've already removed the keyboard. The owner tried to take the keyboard out themselves, and I assume that's how the keys have suddenly gone missing. When I was getting it out, I had to sort of force it out near the end key, and that's slightly... Again, I'm not really got any controls, but the profile of the end keys are slightly off a little, just a little. However, I'll describe to you what you do to remove that, because it's simply one screw on the back. Right, so, the model. Let's get the waffling out of the way. The model is a HP Pavilion G series, specifically the G6, G6-1370SA. Quite common, I think now. This is a £300-ish laptop or so it was a year or two ago when it was bought brand new. It's still in warranty as far as I know, so I'm surprised they didn't want to take it to get the warranty looked at it. But there you go. So, first things first. We'll turn it around. It's pretty nice and easy, this one. You've got 1, 2, 3, 6. You've got 9 main peripheral screws running around the case. You've got 2 screws supporting the expansion port area. Battery bay, which has 3 screws in it as well. And then there's a screw to remove the optical drive. We'll be doing that anyway. The standard Phillips crosshead will do. I've had this one for quite some time. Again, apologies if it is little. So you would have thought. No, see, I wonder if. Yeah. Anyway, I think I can change the zoom mode when it's recording, though. Is that the one? Let's have a look. Haha, yes. So I can. But at the moment, 2 screws on the plastic cover underneath the certificate, or the sticker of authenticity I should say. Pull this from the battery compartment, pull it up and it pops out. Be very careful when putting this back. Some of these legs, there we go, some of these legs on the side don't quite fit in right, and you may end up snapping one or two. And I just noticed the battery is low on this, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. Right, we now have the expansion options. Wireless card, RAM, hard drive, cable. What we'll do, just for the sake of repair, we'll remove the RAM. Sit that to one side. The hard drive isn't screwed in, but over here you have the cable run, and it's just a pull up, comes out, slide it out of place, and then pull the hard drive out. It's on the rubber covers, keeps the cables nice and neat. The wireless card is one of those mini wireless cards. It's held in by one screw. Should raise itself automatically. Take out the cables, and we have the wireless card out. Next, under the wireless there is a recess with the keyboard icon. You must unscrew this before trying to remove the keyboard, otherwise you will damage the laptop, or your keyboard anyway, which is what the person who owns this tried to do. We've also exposed two more screws, which are just there, next to the main connector for the hard drive. And then we've also exposed the CD drive screw right here. And it's quite easy to see, it's going to look like another CD drive, and I just remove that now to save time later. Get your nail under the plastic, pull it out. Should come out nice and easy. Try and put the screw back in, and then you don't lose it. Right, so now we'll work on these exterior screws. In this profile, putting it sideways, you have one here, 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 turning around here, here, the far corner, just up from there. There are the three screws located in the battery compartment, and two screws finally there. Again, you can't quite see it, but there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 external plastic screws, 2 internal plastic screws, and 3 battery base screws. And with that, we'll then switch to the inside. I've already done the step of removing the keyboard. Actually, I'll do it in order. So, you've undone the keyboard screw, flip your laptop round, open it up. Again, no battery, nothing in the front, so these things are always quite top heavy these days. There are 2 more screws here on the plastic, in that in a second. So, your typical laptop, get a thin-headed screwdriver if you can, preferably a lot thinner than this. This is quite a thick head. There are 2 clips on the side, right here, where my fingers are, and then there are 4 clips along the top. From the right over, you have one located here, just sort of around the end of the H, or where the H, before the H begins on the nameplate. One about 2 inches up, the next one about 2 inches up, and then 2 inches up from that. They just run along the top. And there is actually also one in the corner of the fan. So there is one up here as well. So that's a total of what? 5 on the top, 2 on the sides. So 7 clips in order to pull it out. And then it's a case again of lifting up, pushing to the screen slightly, lifting out from the bottom, pulling down, and undoing the ZIF connector. In that sort of usual motion, well, even flipping it over actually. I'll probably leave that off, well, the way I'll be testing it, but there you go. So actually, we'll undo these two now. They should have M2.5 by 5.0 written on them. We can also do a few other things whilst we're here. We have a connection up in the left corner where the fan is for the power button, and we have two ZIF connections in the middle for the mouse. There's a third, well, fourth connection actually, there's up in the right corner, but that can actually stay on until we remove the board. So the first connection, as you can see, is here. We'll just pop that out. It's just come out nice and easy. The second and third for the mouse, just nice and gentle with them. They lift up on these ZIF connections, they're not push ones. And we'll just pull the cables out, and we can leave this one alone. No need to touch that one for now. Close the lid, turn it back round, commence removing the screws. Now I try and put my screws in the order of the laptop, if that makes any sense to people, on my workspace, so they sort of go in the rough shape. So that when I come to reassemble it, I have a bunch of screws in the exact same order. Got to be rather sharpish because the battery might run out. And it doesn't pay to sit here watching someone ramble on. I have cleaned this unit's fan, and it does kind of work. What the general problem with this unit is, although it's still in warranty, the fan has failed, and it's very gunked up, and it feels kind of gooey. Not gooey as in GUI, graphical user interface, but gooey as in ew, that's not normal. Now that could be because of the condition that the owner's been using it in. And quite frankly, modern laptops just don't seem to have a very good design of heat. The vent is on the bottom, and there's a slight grill on the side and things. Yeah, fair enough, whatever. But laptops up until about 2000, 2001, never had any problems with fans ever failing, ever. Or I never have. And they were easier to clean out because they had more vents. The ones that I would clean anyway for people. Right. We'll flip it round again. Having a slide tool helps, just to break the plastics apart. I have one, although it's this came from my mobile phone and it's pretty heavy used. Lay it flat on the screen on the back. Find a point, somewhere where you can get a bit of force in it. You can use a screwdriver, you just might end up marking your plastic if you're not careful. Or your nail, or just brute force after a while. Because this has already been opened up, it's a little bit more easier to do. Oops, knocking me screws. With that, we can now open the lid a bit more. Remove the front top panel rather. The top panel completely removed, you should now be like this. You should have, obviously, the screen. The screen is held in place. I'll be taking this out. I won't be disassembling the screen, I don't normally do that, however they tend to be quite simple. In fact on this one it's probably not even screwed in. It's probably just push clips, and you would just use a slide tool to take it apart once you've got it off. However, we have two things to be aware of. We have the wireless cable here, which we can pull out from underneath, so that's free. And we have the main video connection cable located here. It's held in place by 2 screws on either side, and they're quite simple to remove. And again, the video cable, it's just a nice simple case. Grab it firmly both sides and pull it up. It's not a pull out, well, it pulls out, but you pull it up off the board. The 2 screws are located on the metal framing. So we will undo these. Try and support it by the time you get to the next screw, because it's always fun when it tries to fly off on its own. And then lift up and away it goes. Next, we have a few cables to take out. I'll put this on zoom mode now for a better look. We have the bottom corner. This is the left hand side of the laptop. Where's the sweet spot on this thing? Something like that. We have this cable here, which is under a bit of tape to remove. Sorry, I'm just trying to get some good light on it so it can be seen better, but like I say, I'm not fully aware of where this thing's best bits are, but cable there. This cable here has to come out immediately up from it. That's got a little pull tag. You pull that up, that connects the CD drive. We've got the cable here in the ZIF connection, again, just comes out. The sellotape, I've already took off once before. Pull that out, that's for the speakers. And then moving, let's take that out, to the right hand side top, you've got the power jack cable, and a USB port. So, we'll undo the USB port ZIF connection, pull out the power cable, and now there is one screw holding this whole board in, and that's right down here in the corner next to the SD card slot or the memory card slot, and it's one standard Phillips. We'll undo that, and then the board from the right hand side lifted up in a forward motion and should come completely out. From there you can now replace the bottom plastics if this was completely cracked on the bottom or shattered and you wanted to put new parts, or repair the battery holder, or to replace the power jack. In fact, you would obviously not need to take the board out to do the power jack. Again, apologies for any not focusing or anything. The power jack should, if I look at it right, it should just pop out with a little bit of work. You can take the cable out, nice and easy replacement. Take the USB port out, replace the optical drive cable, replace the speakers, all that jazz. The motherboard. Obviously this is the top, which is not what we want. We want the bottom. Standard watch battery. Most likely able to buy replacements on eBay, but obviously I want this fan unit out. We have the processor slot. Now, if you know what other model processor these HP G6 models sell with, down the line, this has the Pentium model, so I believe this is the single core or a very basic dual core. You could replace this with a much better processor. Do be careful for flexing of this board, it's a little flimsy. If you have to, hold it up and support the area underneath. I found when I was re-screwing the heatsink on, this clamp underneath for the screw fittings was coming off the board a little, so I had to sort of pinch it together to reattach it. Not a problem, it is a laptop after all. There we go. The screw should come out fully, so make sure you get the heatsink off properly. This currently has no thermal paste on it because I was doing the check for the fan. Incidentally, the fan power cable is located under the heat pipe just here, just right next to the fan itself. It's only a small one, work it out. And you might find a bit of resistance when you come to remove the fan. Now the screws aren't out completely, I know. I'm not sure if they're actually meant to, but that one does. That resistance is actually a bit of tape on the bottom here with this heat shielding sticky material. It's like sticky back plastic. Obviously, if you've got this fan, you're having to replace the fan, you may as well replace the thermal paste. I will be doing that with some Arctic cooling. And then we have some very, very, very small screws on the fan. In fact, there's one there, one there. I think that was it. So I'll just be getting my smaller screwdriver, wherever I put that, for a minute. And here it is. And I believe I'm using the smallest Phillips crosshead I have, I think. Is this the smallest one? I'm not sure if this is the smallest one, but it works, so that will do. And it's held in with a few pins, push clips rather, not pins, on the side. Just use your screwdriver to gently pry those away. And work it off. And there is a free heatsink. Now that's very stiff. It's been cleaned, but it just feels goopy still. Like it's been in a very stagnant, greasy kitchen kind of feel. That's the only way I can describe it, like the force of grease against it. This one, our new piece. Oh yes. Nice and movie. But actually I shall end it there, folks. That's the disassembly. What I will do now is partially reassemble it, test that the fan turns on, strip it down, put some thermal paste on it, and then begin reassembly. So, catch you later.